Hey, ladies, welcome to today's episode. We're going to talk about how God is the one who gives you the power to get wealth in your online business. Yes, it is not in your own strength. And honestly, you usually get to this point where you are out of strength, where you finally accept this and you realize, okay, God, it's up to you. So I'm going to share some of my own story, how this has happened over and over again in my building journey. And yeah, it's going to be good. So let's go, ladies. Are you a Holy Spirit-led woman called to build a faith-based online business that disrupts the culture, sets people free, and leaves a legacy for the generations? If so, welcome to the Set Apart Online Business Podcast, the podcast for Christian coaches, course creators, entrepreneurs, and ministry leaders who are ready to scale to 6 and 7 figures without compromising their calling, and all while building set-apart families and set-apart businesses. I'm your host, Ashley June, MBA, 7-figure business coach, homeschool mama of 3, and founder of Eden, the Mastermind, and the Selah Collective group coaching program. I help women like you launch, grow, and scale biblically based online businesses that create income, impact, and kingdom legacy in less time. I'm talking 5 to 15 hours a week. You can build a life of freedom for your family through building generational wealth, and all while having fun. So yes, ladies, I am often surfing in Costa Rica or sneaking away on ski trips in our beautiful Colorado mountains with my little crew. Here, we talk about business strategy, funnels, sales, launching, scaling, motherhood, culture, and the Holy Spirit edge of entrepreneurship. Because building a set-apart online business means stepping into the business battlefield with boldness, discernment, and the armor of God. Because God has set you apart and you don't have to build your online business like the world. So grab your electrolytes or reheat that same cup of coffee for the 3rd time, and let's step into today's episode with big visions and radical boldness. Let's go, girls. Okay, so ladies, being an online business owner is not for the faint of heart. In fact, it is something that is really, really hard sometimes. It is a complete test of your mind, body, spirit, your gaps. Like, I think it's like one of the most sanctifying things that you can do, especially as a believer, because you're not called to build like the world, right? Like, you're called to build like the Lord has called you to build, right? Like, we have a different kind of standard of morals, ethics, that come in and challenge how we're building something, and we're called to a higher standard ultimately, right? And that can get really, really hard. So today I'm talking about how God is the one that makes your wealth grow. He's the one who makes your business grow. And often you will finally get out of you'll be out of your own strength, and that is when it will happen. Okay. And so before we get into this, ladies, though, I want to invite you to take the Kingdom Seasons quiz. This is literally like a custom assessment for where you are in your online business right now. So you might be in a spot where you are building, growing, trying to, manufacture all the things, and it's just like not working out. You might be in a spot where you are, trying to even figure out what the Lord is calling you to do. You're like, he gave you this idea, but you're like, what do I do with it? How do I launch this? How do I even build an offer out of this? Because I just kind of know maybe a direction that he wants me in. You might be in a spot where you are already growing and seeing the fruit, but like you're dealing with like the problems that you're going to in the scaling stages, right? And so this quiz / free assessment is going to help you figure out exactly what season you're in online business and give you action steps for what to do next, right? And these are like tactical action steps, things that you need to start focusing in regards to your online business. So go check it out. The link is in the show notes. So, okay. When you're building this online business, you have to have an emotional, mental, and spiritual resolve to show up and not get anything out of it for several months and even years sometimes. If you're launching this for the first time, you guys, it could take 12 months of work every single day to really start feeling like you're gaining any traction. And that's like the right work, right? Like, that's not just like posting, praying, all the things. That's like strategic work every single day. I'm a complete believer that it takes a solid year of like investing into the process before you're seeing a lot of fruit, right? Does it have to be that slow? No way. There are ways to do it quicker, but regardless, you have to have emotional, mental, and spiritual resolve to go do the thing. You have to make the time, okay? Nothing is going to work out if you're not actually allotting and making the time for this, right? And honestly, even to see a new idea or see progress, like if I'm making changes in my online business with content or strategy or different things, like you will not see big changes for about 3 months of making effort, right? It's literally like my whole Bloom framework, that you have to plant the seed, you guys, and then you have to water it. You have to nurture it. You have to let it grow. And then you will, like reap the reward or have the harvest, bear the fruit after that. But like anything that you do, it is going to take several months to really see a change, right? And that's several months of consistency. And the problem is most of us quit, right? Except for the elite and the called can stick it out. Okay. Like you can stick it out. You've been called. You can stick it out. And God gave you, the power to get wealth. He gave you he gave you what is it? He gave you a spirit of self-discipline and self-control, right? And it's something that like you shouldn't take this lightly, right? Like you're called to show up and you're called to steward with excellence, right? But there's also this point that you reach where you are out of your own strength. And honestly, it really has to be the Lord who makes it grow at that point. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, "You shall remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you the power to get wealth, that he may confirm his covenant that he swore to your fathers, as it is this day." And so at the end of the day, you must steward with excellence and, put your all into this and, and really walk away saying like, I put my all into this and for months and years at a time, right? But you will reach a point after you have done that where it is up to God to make this thing grow. Okay. And so I'm going to share like 2 times that I just feel like I was at my end and he totally showed up. Okay. The first time, you guys, was when I actually launched my online business, right? So I closed down my photography business, my local business. I was pregnant with our 3rd baby, literally like 9 months pregnant, just about to pop. And I reached a point where I was just out of my strength, but I felt like God was calling me to come launch this thing. And so I bought an online program. And I pretty much said, God, like, I think this is what you're calling me to do. Like, I feel it so deeply in my spirit. I can't keep staying in the photography industry. Like, it's like my grace is expiring, my patience. I dread what I do every day. I have more difficult clients than I've ever had. Like, I just, I'm tired. I've been, I had all my babies in these years and like ran out of the house to get to photo shoots and all the things. And I'm like, I'm just at my end. And I even remember in this season, I asked my mom, I was like, can I just like quit my business? Right? Like, can I just quit my business? And she was like, yes, Ashley, you can quit your business. Right? But I'm like, I don't want to quit. I'm not a quitter. And so when you're shifting into these different seasons, you're like, I don't want to be a quitter. Right. And I could have stuck it out. I could have, continued to stay in it and I still would have had a lot of success. The next year that I was not taking clients, I was still getting tons and tons of inquiries for my work. Right. But that wasn't what the Lord called me to do. And so I knew at that point, I was like, I am just out of my strength. I need a break, right? This is like the worst time to launch something, but I was like, the Lord is calling me to do this. And so I pretty much said like, God, like I'm going to launch this idea locally, this idea that you gave me, but I have no strength right now. And you have to be the one who makes this thing work. And so from there, I launched this idea into the marketplace and I actually brought in $20,000 worth of clients. I mean, it was crazy, right? Like it was the easiest launch that I have ever done, probably even to this day. Okay. I had a giant pregnant puffy face, was just kind of sharing my heart, what I was going to build. And essentially I had clients come in through that. And what I really didn't realize at that time was I had actually sowed into this dream by even just showing up in my local community and building relationships and all of it for all these years where I had become like an authority in the marketplace and a thought leader in the marketplace, right? And because of that, and because the Lord was like, go now, right? And like, it was his idea, and I was obedient to that, even when I was out of like my own strength. Guys, I mean, it was, like I said, like the easiest launch I have ever done. And so, but I reached that point. I was like, I'm at my limit. God, it has to be you. I'm going to do the best that I can on this with the energy that I have. But like, I can't strive. Like, this literally cannot be out of my own strength, because the most important thing right now is this baby that I'm about to have, right? And being present for my family, right? And, still honoring the commitments that I, am contracted to as I finish out, this year. And so he made it grow. He gave me the power, to get that wealth. But I had to get to a point, guys, where I was like, it really has to be you. The second time that is coming to mind is about 2 years into my business. So my first year, my first like 6 to 8 months was local. And I was building out my online program as I was like servicing my local clients. And then launched online, but I tried to like launch like an online course with like a Q&A once a month. It just wasn't a great offer. Great course, not a great offer, right? Like just the way that stuff was structured and how I was communicating it. And I had some success. I had some new clients come in. I had ads that were converting a little bit and all the things. But even though things were kind of trickling in, I just wasn't having like big breakthroughs or feeling like my numbers were really reflecting that. I was taking an income hit in comparison to what I had been earning in my local business. And that was after like not taking, or basically, turning away a bunch of clients the year before. And so year 2, I'm like, I should be seeing more success by this point. And I just kind of felt like I kept trying all the things, like, and it was overwhelming to me. And then in 2020, I took a pause, and I ended up totally shifting my messaging in the marketplace. I ended up just going all in on my niche, and got really clear on who my niche actually was, that's when I went into the faith-based market. I started selling faith-based programs and building faith-based communities in support of that. And I became even more of a thought leader, I guess you could say. But I really started being honest about like why I was in business, right? Like I brought the Lord into my business, and I started to be honest about who I was, who he created to be, and what he put on my heart to speak, serve, all the things, right? And we know 2020 was crazy. For me, it was just a big, it was a big, complete heart change, complete, like all this stuff. But when I took that pause and I really was just like surrendering to what the Lord, was calling to me in that season, I, got to the point where I just kind of said, like, God, like, this has to be you again, right? Like, this has to be you again. And so I paused, and then I ended up spending, like, I totally rebuilt my offer. I turned it into a group coaching program. I got really specific on my messaging, all the things. And then I ended up spending $10,000 on ads to launch this offer in like a live launch event. And, all the years before I was, practicing that and becoming more refined and, different areas and how I would do this and structuring and planning and executing, these types of events, and whatnot. But it was like a total risk. I was like, I'm going to spend $10K and I'm going to see what happens. I have this structured for excellence, as much excellence as I can. At the moment, but I was like, God, like it has to be you, because like if I don't start to see a bigger and better return in this business, I just don't know if this is worth it, and the cost, right? Like, what is this taking from my family? Like, if I'm not seeing the return, or like, why am I just like trying and trying and trying, but like just like not having a win, right? And so I put all my cards on the table, right? And I said, God, like I'm gonna do this, and like if this is it, like please bless this, right? Like make it grow. And if it's not, like, that's like a clear indicator or sign that like I'm not supposed to be maybe doing this anymore, or maybe this just wasn't gonna grow like I thought it was, and I just need to kind of go really reevaluate like what you have in the future for me. And so in that launch, you guys, I ended up making $85,000 from a 10K ad spend, and it was 100% who God created me to be in that moment. Like the whole Esther for such a time as this. Like, that is what I feel about that season, in my testimony and in my story. And a lot of hardship actually preceded that launch. The most horrible thing that had ever happened in my family, walked through a lot of trauma, so much healing and all the things, in that story, but like, it just a very traumatic season. I was losing friends. I lost a best friend, like, and I felt like it was like separating the wheat from the chaff, right? And I was at a point where I just felt so stripped, beginning of what I would call wilderness season to some extent, but completely out of my strength, you guys. And God showed up, right? I did it with excellence. I was obedient. I took the risk, but like, I asked God, I said, like, if this is what you have for me, like, this has to be you, right? And so honestly though, like, guys, I hit these moments every few years, literally every couple years on the dot, I swear. In 2024, I had a moment kind of like this. I totally stepped back from my online business, and I was just living off of my payment plans, servicing my clients. I was working on some back end things, but like, took a big break. And, it was good. It was like a year of rest and like nervous system regulation, realized different things about myself. It's like continued healing, you know? And then 2025, you guys, was a year of like rebuilding momentum. I was very consistent, and I showed up consistently, and I updated my offer a bit, and was just like, my whole goal in 2025 was building in better discipline habits and consistency, and not letting emotions rule me. That was something 2025 I was really focused on. And then now I feel like 2026 is a year of like updating and change, and kind of revamping a lot of my whole world and systems, and really just trying to be in touch with what the Lord is calling to me and calling me to, and sensitive like to what I feel like he's supposed, or what he's asking me, what actions he's asking me to take. And so a lot of this, you guys, is like surrendering some plans, right? Because like, if I had it my way, like, I wouldn't change anything. I would just repeat it, and then I could go, you know, live my life, right? Without like having to get my mind to work too much, right? Just show up when I need to show up. But right now, like, I'm working in ways that I haven't had to work in a while, right? And I'm at that same time, like, I'm also like getting freed from some, like, let's call it like religious dynamics in my business that I felt tethered to, like things that I felt like I had to do, all this stuff, right? But the whole point out of this is that like, God will make it grow if that's his plan, right? And we're called to steward well, show up with excellence, as much excellence as we can. But sometimes we honestly just reach that point where our effort is enough, okay? We've written enough emails. We've posted enough on social media. We've changed XYZ. We've done this. We've done that. We've done that. We can't always muscle it, right? We can't always strive, right? And this is not a permission slip to be passive and to be like a lazy Christian girl in your soft girl era who doesn't do anything. Doesn't work, guys. You gotta like be like little, you know, lady warriors here. But like, if you have done everything you can do with as much excellence as you can in this season, even if it's maybe not even up to the standard that you would like it to be, it is up to him to make it grow. Okay. And so the most beautiful thing about these seasons is he always shows up. Maybe not exactly how you would do it or what you would choose or what he has next for you in the future, but like, he always shows up. And so in this, you guys, I guess I'm just giving you a reminder of like, not only what it takes to like build and launch these businesses, but I'm giving you a reminder of God's perfect plan and how he makes these things grow, right? You can never take them out of it. And if I was going to tell someone, what is like, Ashley, like, what is one of your top reasons for success, right? Because it can come, it can go. You have good years, bad years, consistent years, fast growth, slow growth, no growth, right? You have like these different times and these different things. And I ultimately think it is surrendered. And you have to like, you get to the spot of like coming back to humility, coming back to this is not how I would do it, but like, I have to surrender my ways. And I think that is like the ultimate secret to success long-term in this industry, in this ministry. And honestly, in anything that you do, any vision that you have, right? Continual surrender. And I wish, man, oh man, I wish we could get out of that, right? Like, I wish that we did not have to get to that point, but we are human. We have our flesh, And God will constantly, right, crucify the flesh, right? He will constantly crucify the flesh, right? But he will show you where to go, right? If something is not working, he will show you that, right? If he's asking you to pivot, he will show you that. If he's asking you just to totally lay something down, he will show you that, right? And so to some extent, we also have to realize that when we're constantly trying to plan and do all the things and this and this and this and this and this, right? What is it for, right? That toil, right? And so take a moment. This is your permission slip. Take a moment. Get out of the chaos maybe that you're operating in, running in, all the things that you're trying to do, and just go re-ask God. Like, God, I'm doing my best here. I'm trying to do everything that I know how to do in this season, what you've called me to do. If this is your will you please make this grow? If it's not, will you make it clear? Will you take it away? Will you show me something that I have not been listening to, right? But I surrender to you, and I surrender to your plan, and I surrender to what you have in store for me, because I know that you love me, and I know that you have the best in mind and the best plan for my future, because you have given me, you want me to prosper. You have given me hope, and you have given me a future. And our measly little ways of thinking that we know it all, right? He is the one who knows it all. And he knows exactly what you're supposed to be doing in this season. So some encouragement, some resolve to stick it through and do what you've been called to do, but also a permission slip, right? To surrender. And if you can continually show up with that heart posture of continual surrender, I really truly believe that is that is the key to just long-term vision, right? And this is kind of a side note, but you see so many people in ministry who have big falls or moral failure or different things. And, our world is a tough place. David had moral failure, right? A church that I went to growing up, I just saw something come out that there was moral failure with that pastor, right? So crazy, right? But you want to finish well. Why, right? That's our whole mission. You want to finish well. And if you want to finish well with whatever assignment God has called you to, taken you from, pivoted you away from or into, you have to have a heart posture of surrender. It is not my ways. It is his, right? We make the plans. He directs the steps. So ladies, go do the thing, pray, surrender. Check your heart condition and carry on. Oh, and also guys, take the Kingdom Seasons quiz. Almost forgot to tell you, take the Kingdom Seasons quiz. If you're in a spot where you're feeling stuck, something in business is not working, you don't have clarity in something, just take the quiz. It's going to give you a lot of clarity about where you are. Sometimes it is a skill gap, knowledge gap, a pain that you're working through, a distraction, a self-discipline issue, all of it, right? But I just encourage you, go take that quiz, and it's going to unlock essentially the path and the activities that you need to be working on in your business to start seeing success, but still within the confines of that surrender. Heart posture of surrender. Okay, link is in the show notes, ladies. Hey girl, hey! If you were loving this episode, please leave a 5-star rating and a written review on our show. If you happen to screenshot it and email it to us at team@wildandradiant.com, we're gonna thank you, celebrate you, and we just wanna make sure you're part of this Set Apart movement. Plus, ladies, other ladies will get to see this show. They will get to see the episodes, they will get to listen to all the goodies in here. And when you leave a review, you help us pop up easier for that show. So 1, we would love it if you would do that. 2, please share this episode with your business besties, the ones who are done with hustle culture, tired of watered down marketing, and ready to build Holy Spirit-led online businesses with fire, strategy, and biblical truth. I know you have one out there that you're thinking of right now, right? Share it. Hit share. Hit send. Okay? And ladies, if you're looking to launch your online business and grow to that first 100K, I want you inside of the Salem Collective. Perspective. It's my signature group coaching space for Christian women who are ready to activate their calling and build with biblical clarity and proven strategy. If you've already hit 6 figures or well on your way, and you're ready to scale in a place of overflow and rest so you can get to your first 500K to 1 million, then you need to apply for Eden, the Mastermind, where kingdom leaders rise, multiply, and take spiritual and digital ground together. Lastly, ladies, head to ashleyjunco.com to learn more. I'm praying bold prayers over your business. Let's radically go do the thing. I'll see you in the next episode.